Namaste, good evening, one and all. Welcome to Leaders Connect 360 episode LC0137. Leaders Connect 360 is CSR initiative by Visa Training and organized by the Mass Leadership. Hello all, my name is Priyanka and I'm working as a soft skill facilitator in Ambuja Cement Foundation. Leaders Connect 360 started with a specific objective of inviting 1,000 plus leaders and create a million leaders. It is an online hub where every Wednesday from 6:30 to 7:15 p.m. we learn from top management leaders on Zoom Live. And once in a quarter in each city, we have an offline networking, meet to network, support, and grow with the leaders. That's what we call Leaders Create More Leaders. Currently, all are muted, and we will be giving you an opportunity to speak to our special guest, Mr. Ritesh Goyal. Welcome, sir, who is the founder and managing director of GIBS Business School. Before you are unmuted, let me share that we are currently live on LinkedIn. First time visitor may click on the WhatsApp, FB and LinkedIn on the chat box to get updated by joining us in creating more leaders. All in-house are requested to turn on your videos, which help in making the episode highly interactive. So are we all ready to interact to our guest, Ritesh sir, and our panel discussion leader, Alagu ma'am. So welcome ma'am. Then share a thumbs up and emoji. Okay, thank you all. So before the introduction of the guest, let me introduce Mr. Pankaj sir, managing partner of Visa Training, will interact with our guest along with a panel discussion leader, Alagu ma'am. So welcome sir, over to you.
Thank you so much, Priyanka. Thank you so much. And good evening, everyone. Good evening on behalf of BJ Trading Leaders Connect and the Mass Leadership. So I'm Pankaj Vyas. I'm a managing partner as told by Priyanka. Happy to see you, Priyanka, after long. And I welcome you, Mr. Ritesh, to our platform, Leaders Connect. Thanks for being there. So before I should not take much of the time, let me share the agenda for the day. So we are going to have a panel discussion, which Mr. Alagu will take with our special guest today, Mr. Ritesh. Then we'll have a quiz on the learnings by shared by Mr. Ritesh. So let's see how much of that people have imbibed. So we will check by way of a quiz. After that, we will have a summary of the session, and then we will close with a vote of thanks. So, without taking much of time and formally welcoming Mr. Ritesh, I would like Mr. Arul to play a formal introduction video of our guest, Mr. Ritesh, and let's welcome him formally. So, Mr. Arul, if you can play the welcome video of our guest today. So welcome once again, Mr. Ritesh.
Thank you so much, Mr. Pankaj.
Thank you so much. So, Ms. Alagu, I hand it over to you to have your part of the day. Thank you so much. So you are muted, Ms. Alagu. You can unmute yourself.
Yeah. Welcome, Mr. Ritesh.
Thank you, man.
Thanks for accepting this and being part of the session today. And can we go ahead with this, or are you playing video today? How is it?
No, we can go ahead. I mean, play videos already played for the introduction. So you can start with the panel discussion with
Okay.
our guest.
Yeah. So first, I would like to ask, as the title itself, topic today is approach yourself to approach infinity. So infinity is already there. So how do you approach yourself? It's more of a self-reflection thing, and how do you, what strategies or practices can any individual employ to overcome self-imposed limitations and expand their potential?
All right. So thank you, Mr. Pankaj, Mr. Prakash. I'm not sure if he's there or not. Ms. Alagu, for inviting me for this beautiful panel discussion. And it is a privilege for me to be here amongst, I would say, great leaders. And I really believe in your motto, leaders create more leaders. If they don't create, then they're not the leaders. That's what I believe. All right. So this topic is very close to my heart when I say approach yourself to approach infinity. And I'm sure it is, self-explanatory, the topic where we talk about approach yourself. That means I'm going to talk more about the self, the improvements rather than, I always believe that mindset is greater than skill set. So I'll just take you through a small journey of my life, and then I'll start and why it's not about my life, but how the approaching my own self has helped me to grow in my life. So I belong to a small place of Rajasthan called Bhadra, where the total population of the village is about 50,000. I'm talking in 2023. So when I left Bhadra, it was about 15,000. So I have completed my schooling from Hindi medium and even my graduation from Hindi medium. And my first English medium education was an MBA program in 2007, and that was in Bangalore. And I'm sure everybody is aware that 2007-9 was the biggest recession in the country. And I'll not be talking more about this story. It is available everywhere on the Google if you will just type my name. I think it is published by almost all media houses in the country. And so we are writing a book called The Story of Three Brothers, where we are talking about, the story in detail. And so my father has sold the house and he has sent me to Bangalore, because the dream for family was, we have many dreams in life, like making a lot of money and, becoming successful. But for my family, the only dream was that my son will speak a single line of English. So that was the biggest dream. So I landed in Bangalore in 2007, where my father has sold the house and he has, he wanted me to do an MBA program. And I'll share an interesting story with all of you. I still remember I started my MBA program in 2007. And then I have been to my hometown in 2008 after completion of 1 year after my internship. And my father was sitting with, 3-4 of his friends, and he was literally sharing कि मेरा बेटा Bangalore में पढ़ता है. My son is studying in Bangalore. And you know what? The people were not even knowing that there are about 300 plus colleges in Bangalore. So people were like, BL, Bangalore is number 2. You would have asked him to study in Ahmedabad, because for them, B school means it's only IIM. So I literally felt embarrassed. Oh, they are thinking that I'm studying in IIM Bangalore. So I have shared it with you because just to tell about the family background, what kind of background I belong to. And then in 2009, I finished my MBA, and then it was the biggest recession in the country. And I had two dreams at that point of time after completion of my MBA. Since MBA was the first English medium education to speak a single line of English, even after finishing my MBA. And the second dream was to earn 50,000 rupees per month. And today, I think we are giving close to 1.5 crore rupees salary per month. So we have a team of about 175 people. And so these were two dreams which I really wanted to achieve, but everything was shattered in 2009 when there was a biggest recession in the country, and people were leaving Bangalore. So I'm sure you would have read that I started my career from Franklin Institute of Air Hostess Training with a salary of about 9,000 rupees. And I worked there for about 6 months, and then I landed in an MBA college by name ALisWELL Business Academy. And I got 3 promotions in a year. And I left the company the day when I was promoted as a director marketing. And I was quite young at that point of time. I was about 23 and a half, I guess. And I mean, I'm still young, okay? So I was 23 and a half. And the day when I was promoted in the morning, evening, I have put the resignation, because I'll be sharing how approaching yourself helps you in life for planning and other things. Because according to me, as an entrepreneur, there is nothing called risk. We always talk about we should be the risk taker to become an entrepreneur. We always talk about risk and other things. I personally feel that we should be great at forecasting. There is nothing called risk. If you can forecast things, I think everything becomes easy in life. The decision making becomes very, very fast. And I feel that, yes, I can forecast things, because if you give your heart and soul to something, I'm sure when we are in a relationship, many of you can relate that when we are in any relationship, either as a boyfriend, girlfriend, or husband and wife, and the entire life we run our relationship only on forecasting. Right. So people says that getting married is the biggest risk of the life. And I personally feel it's RISK, it's rise in the sky. So risk itself says that rise in the sky. So there is nothing called risk in life. And then after, a short stint in an MBA college, we have founded, I'm sure many of you have heard or not heard, I'm not sure, but a brand called Pathfinder. So Pathfinder is quite popular in the country. We had our presence in 36 cities, where right now we have it in 10 cities of the country. And in 2010, we have founded that company. And along with my younger brother, Ravi, and the other one is Pradeep. And then, Pathfinder was doing quite well, till pandemic. And we had a team of about 160, 165 people in Pathfinder. And then in 2013, we started with a business school, a unique business school, I would say. If you get time, please go through the website and other stuff of GIBS. A unique business school, in 2014. So next year we are completing 10 years for the same. And during 2019, the approach yourself starts. 2019-20, we came up with a new campus in the heart of the Bangalore. We invested about 25 crores. And I would like to share with all of you, we have not taken even a single rupee funding from any agency or any venture capitalist, because the first question I get to hear from my student, in fact, I have been to almost all IIMs, IITs, and as a speaker. And Indian School of Business, I have taught one paper called Business Mastery Program. And and I myself is an IIM Bangalore graduate. So after 10 years of my entrepreneurship, I did my full-time executive MBA from IIM Bangalore. And that was in the year of 2021. During the peak time of pandemic, I thought how to utilize this time. And during pandemic, we always says that there are 3 industries which will never die, Siksha, Chikitsa, and Bhiksha. It's education, hospital, and temple. But all these 3 industries were shut during that particular time. The first time we thought, we have entered in the wrong industry. But, that was the time. I still remember 3rd May 2020, when I started approaching my own self. Till that time, it was the craziness to make money. And in fact, language, the bhasha. So my father always says, bhasha is good as far as you make paisa. So you don't need to be great at language. You don't need to be a great, the Englishman or something like that. So, bhasha equals to paisa. If you're making paisa, that means your bhasha is absolutely great. And we have a number of examples in our own country. And so this is how in 2020, 3rd May 2020, I would say, I started approaching my own self. And that year we have booked a loss of about 14 crores. And since, as I was talking about funding, we as an organization, we don't believe in funding. It's all about finding. So keep finding, and by default you'll get the funding. And you don't need to have money to have any startup. It's all the mindset. Mindset is something which makes you to do something big in life. You need to be crazy about the life. And I think I'm the craziest person in my organization. If you'll come to my organization, it's a flat organization. And in business schools, you see the top level of hierarchies. And I play with my student. I'm always with them. I'm with my faculty members, the intellectual capital of the institution. And so after booking the loss, we were almost on the verge of closing down because we have invested about 20 crores rupees in the campus. And imagine if you're investing in your dream house and then it becomes a dark house. And we moved in the campus in October 2019, and March 2020 was the lockdown, where the one of the prominent personality from Bangalore was supposed to inaugurate our B school. And then I started approaching my own self, and I have become a manifestation man. And I'll be talking a little bit on law of attraction and manifestation, how it really works. If you'll ask me that the reason behind your success in a single word, I would say it's law of attraction. It's only law of attraction. And I'm sure in GIBS we have somewhere around 800 students from each and every part of the country. And out of 800, about 80 to 90% student believes in law of attraction. I have made them to believe in law of attraction, in the manifestation or the power of visualization. So 2020, I started visualizing everything. I'll be sharing my mobile screen, not on the laptop screen, but this is how I live my life. My mobile screens will have the manifestation. And, then 2020, it was the time when I started getting up at around 4:45 in the morning. And I'm not sure whether you will believe it or not. In fact, I don't believe it sometime. But from 3rd May 2020 till now, there is not even a single break that I have not got up at 4:45 in the morning. And about 1,300 plus people get my message in the morning exactly at 4:45.
Wow.
So I believe that learning and networking is something which really makes you big. I am a strong believer of networker because I personally believe as a leader, doesn't matter you like me or not, but the morning first name you should see on your screen is Ritesh Goyal. Love me or hate me, but you can't ignore me. So it's something like that. And people are getting it for, I think, almost it's close to 1,400 days. And not even a single break. Even if I sleep at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., doesn't matter. I get up at 4:45. And I think we should create some pressure in our life. And then after some time, pressure becomes a pleasure. And so law of attraction, how it works for the leaders is, I believe in 3 things: ask, believe, and receive. We human, we are very poor at asking things. What we do, we don't, a human should ask from a human. But what do? We don't ask from human. We just go to the temple when nobody is there and we say, please God, please, I want. See, it's God is not going to help you. I'm sorry. Because we ourselves are the God, G for generator, O for operator, D for destroyer. So it's we who make it or break it. So, we should ask each other. And you just try asking. If you want 10,000 rupees immediately, I think you should approach your own network. You should approach your own people. And trust me, if you don't get 10,000, but at least you will end up getting 5,000 to 6,000. And that is the power of asking. But we feel, oh, if I'll ask, what will happen? And in fact, you try asking in temple. If you will not even get a single penny. So I feel that asking is an art, but we should master that art of asking. Even after making a venture of 100 crores, we are 100 crores, even we have crossed 100 crores. And I'm talking in terms of net valuation. It is not the valuation which startups are creating. And if we talk about startups, so it should be close to 250 or 300 crores, the way they are calculating. So, I'm still the biggest beggar of my organization, I believe. I beg to my intellectual capital. I beg to my, my own brothers. I beg to my relatives. And मुझे लोग बेशरम बोलते हैं. And trust me, I am a biggest बेशरम when it comes to the asking part. Because what happens is the power of asking is if you start asking, you'll end up getting something. But if you don't ask, then nothing happens. And the moment you start asking, you start believing. So the power of believing, the moment you start asking, you just try it out. Sometimes we feel that, oh, people doesn't like me. So, people doesn't like me. They won't give me anything. But you just try. Your myths will be cleared at that point of time. And then second one is the belief. You should have a belief system, and you won't have a belief system. We always talk about belief system. Many people are giving the gyan on belief system. Madam, I'm sure I have been given about 20 minutes to talk on this, right? No worries.
Yes, you
right?
can. You
Yeah,
can. Please
thank
go
you.
ahead.
Thank
Please
you.
continue, sir.
So,
Please
yeah.
continue.
Thank you. We believe that we should have a belief system and all. A belief system will not come unless and until we ask things. So we should ask as much as possible. I feel that humans are devalued when they don't ask, but we feel that we are devalued when we ask. The power of asking is beyond everything. So that is how we built our belief system. And receiving is something I personally feel that we should not think about receiving. But so if any one of you who know me personally, you'll see my the mobile screen. I believe that the result is an auto process of what we do. And so whatever we do, and in our organization, I remember in last 11 years we have never spoken about revenue generation. We have never spoken about the fee collection, or in Pathfinder we have never spoken about the turnover. And it's all about, we have only spoken about the processes. I'm sure all of you would have read 4 P's of marketing: product, price, place, and promotion. But I have a different definition. I think a small kid also knows those 4 P's, which Philip Kotler has taught us. In fact, still teaching us in the marketing program. And for me, the first one is the people. So people is an asset to us. I feel that, in our organization, we don't believe in B2B or B2C, business to business or business to customer. We believe in H2H. It's human to human, head to head, and heart to heart. So that is something, even if somebody is not performing, they will not be taken out of the organization. Even if somebody is not doing great, they will not be taken out of the organization. But if there is an attitude problem, it is a zero tolerance policy. We have it. Human should be respected to the core. And trust me, that even the lady who supplies water in our organizations, she sit with us, she have food with us, and that kind of human values we have about the people in the organization. There is nothing called a attender or office boy or a director or dean in the organization. So that receiving part, when I was talking about an auto process, so the first one is people for me, and the second one is again PR. The second P is PR, and I always says PR se pyar kar lo, and agar wo nahi karoge to it's very difficult to approach infinity in your life. And PR is something which you have to. I mean, you don't have any other choice. And so if you look at my LinkedIn profiles and other things, people feels as if I'm full day I'm on social media, but trust me, every day morning I make sure I post something. And I even if I don't get something, तो मैं अपनी खुद की photos click करके कुछ भी करके I make sure that I'm alive. I just tell the world that yes, guys, I am alive. I'm not dead. And that takes hardly 2 to 3 minutes for me. And after that, I don't operate social media. But after looking at the activeness on social media, people feels that I'm active for the full day. But that is again a myth. Why? Because we are not taking time in posting things, but we are worried more about likes and comments. So that is where we kill the creativity or the innovation of our post, and we feel, oh, I didn't get any. And in moreover, I always believe that for the young chaps, we always wait for one comment. Wo aa gaya tha, life is done. And we keep waiting till the night, and we waste a lot of time on that. And the third P for me is process. And in GIBS, in Pathfinder, everything is process driven. Whatever we have, even if you'll ask how do we serve the water, it is there in the booklet. I have a number of booklets kept over here only. Everything is there as a process. So I would say people are the important part of the organization, but due to any reason, if they're moving out of the organization, the processes should not hamper. And the fourth one and the last one, the most important, is the progress. So progress, if these three things, if these four things are interconnected. So the first one is people. People actually create a PR for you. And when people plus PR, that creates a process for you. And these three things, if they're together, people plus PR process, that creates a progress for you. I feel that you don't need to talk about progress, that yes, this is something we should create. Yes, you should manifest it. And when I say manifestation, manifestation happens only in the dark room. And you alone have to sit and you have to do, you don't need to discuss about your things. And yes, I am sure many of you would have heard about don't discuss your plans. Okay, so you keep it to yourself. I feel that you should take a mic and tell the world about your plans. You don't need to keep it to yourself. The reason is you are bound to achieve that. If you keep it to yourself, it's like going to gym. Oh, 6 months, I'll reduce 10 kgs. You don't tell the world, right? So what happens is, then I feel, oh, still 5 months are there. Still 4 months are there. Oh, I'll do it. And then 6 months are gone. But if you tell your plan, you are bound to achieve that. So I always tell, please share your plan with the world. It's nothing wrong. Yeah, but I always put a disclaimer that yes, if I don't achieve it, nothing wrong in that. But if I discuss about it, I will at least uske paas mein to jaunga main. So that is something will happen. So I am going to be bigger than the world, right? After 3 years span of time or 5 years, whatever the plan or the goals I'm setting for myself. So that is something which I really wanted you guys to, the leaders, if you can make it as a part of your life. And why I'm talking about power of visualization, if my old friend will see this video, no, they'll feel like, oh, some clone is sitting and talking. The reason I was a guy who was having a piercing here and a pony here, and the typical Delhiite kind yo-yo kind of boy. And today I'm talking about power of manifestation, power of visualization. So it's like unusual for them. And how come you can be a part of education industry? So it's like, this is the power of and visualization. See, what is manifestation? If I have to talk about my manifestation, I talk something which is impractical for the world, but yes, I make it practical. Trust me, whatever I have, we came up with a new campus in 2020 in the heart of the city. And Bangaloreans will understand in 1 acre in BBMP limit. So you can understand with the built up of about 1 lakh square feet. So when we came up with our own campus, so I have visualized that campus in 2019 itself. So within 2 years, we have executed it into the plan. So it's, as we say, Rome was not built in a day. So first it was built in the mind and then on paper and then in actual. So this is how manifestation work. And you can just sit in the dark room and I can share the few documents, whatever I have created with the time with all of you. So you can just sit in the dark room in the morning and just start talking to your own self. And if you have any place where you can shout, please do that. I do that. So I have taken a flat on rent in my apartment where I do that in the morning. And I just shout like anything. And it's like I'm directly connecting with the God. You don't need to go to the temple. So if you approach your own self, you can meet God directly. So every day morning I do manifestation, and my manifestations are, in fact, it is sometimes unreasonable. In fact, I visualize that I'm sitting with Mr. Narendra Modi and I'm talking about my IRE school. IRE is nothing but innovation, research, and entrepreneurship. And it will not be a surprise for me when I'll be sitting with him at any point of time, which I have planned till 2025. I'm sure he's going to be the next prime minister. So I have planned till 2025 that I'm going to get a call from there regarding my IRE school and to talk about entrepreneurship, research, and innovation, which is a unique product of GIBS. And how am I talking to him, how he's inviting me, and to that level I am manifesting the things. This is one of the manifestation. In fact, we don't have any land, we don't have money at this point of time, but if you will come to my chamber, you will see a 50 acres of campus on the wall and on my table. So that I am manifesting every day. I'm taking a round of that campus every day. I'm meeting the security, I'm meeting my people, I'm meeting, all the faculty members, which does not exist. So that kind of manifestation I believe in. And I feel that if you start doing it, maybe it will look like a crazy act for a few days, but after that, you will just fall in love with it. And I'm seriously telling you, if a guy like me who was like a yo-yo man, and today talking about visualization, so this is something which really works. And you know what, skill set, we have to study hard, we have to read a lot of books. Yes, I do read after 2020, but manifestation is something which creates a learning. I personally feel that we say we should have a writing habit, we should have a what you call the reading habit, but we should create an auto processes for everything. It's like if you want to get up in the morning, you can say that, Ritesh, I can't get up in the morning, I tried 3-4 times, but then I changed my schedule. I say that don't try to get up in the morning, try to sleep in the night. So then morning becomes an auto process. So this is how the life, if you want to make the money, please, it's like money doesn't come to those who work for money or who goes towards money. Money comes to only those who work for creating extreme values. So if you create extreme values, if you solve the biggest problem of the world, I'm sure. And you don't need to have a different ideas, which these days I think young chaps are cranky, and that is how we are telling that 98, 97, I'm not sure about the exact figure, startups are getting failed. See, you don't need to create different things. As Mr. Shiv Khera says, you need to do the things differently. So we have started a business school where 5,000 plus business schools are already there in India. And I'm sure they are not even, many of them are not getting the exact enrollments. So today our fee structure is about 11 lakhs rupees, and our seats are out before time. So it's like how differently you are doing the things. And I always says, when you have to approach yourself, so it's like fall in love with learning and the rest will follow. And when I say fall in love with learning, it doesn't mean that only reading books or something. So you can choose any medium, like podcast, whatever you like today's session, or if you want to read the book, and nowadays a lot of audio books are available.
Audiobooks, yeah.
And again, you can make it as an auto process. I will say just go for walk, and if you don't like it, just put a headphone. And still you don't like, just start an audiobook. I'm sure you will fall in love with your walk also. So it's like engaging our own self. We human gets bored so easily. So I say that you don't get bored, create something for your own self, create an auto processes for everything. We create an auto processes for everything. Whatever I'm talking, it is there on the paper. And I always says that writing habit, I write a number of things. You can just check it in person, and whatever I'm talking, it's not a bookish gyan or something. Whatever I do, whatever I practice, I share it with the world. And I have written, I think, more than 7 to 8 diaries. You can ask me what exactly I was doing in 2014 on today's day. So I can tell you what exactly I was doing in today's day. And I write a lot because LIC ka slogan, it says, Zindagi ke saath bhi, zindagi ke baad bhi. And writing really works. I'm sure many of you know about Sushant Singh Rajput, right? So we were knowing him as an actor, but not as an intellectual capital of the country. But we came to know after his death by looking at his diaries and other things that yes, he was interested in space. He was an intellectual man. He was highly qualified, which none of us was knowing. So it's like it really works. Zindagi ke saath bhi, and even if you are dead, then also it works. So please write. And once you write, you don't need to look at paper. Trust me, I have written everything that this is what I wanted to speak to you. And without even looking at it, I am just talking. The reason is once you are writing, it is
Enters into your mind.
In your mind. So that storage system we have, and even sometimes we don't feel like attending some session or something where the gyan is getting distributed. I always says just be a part of it. Sleep unconsciously or subconsciously, it will go to your mind. Even if you want to sleep, please open it and then sleep. So that is how I always tell my students also, if you are not well, I'll give you a bed in the classroom. You please come sleep there, but you have to attend. You don't have any other choice. And I'm sure subconsciously so many things will go in your mind. So this is how I've created a me time. When I say me time, it's my time. And it looks bookish, but trust me, before 11 o'clock, I don't do anything. 6 hours every day. We say leaders don't have time. I think if leaders don't have time, they are not the leaders. Who don't have, my security guard doesn't have time because he's working from 8 to 8 and he can't go here and there from the main gate, right? And I always says that leaders should always have the time. Why? Then only they can create the process. If somebody says that, sir, can I get your appointment? It is like an abuse to me. If somebody says managing director, it is like an abuse to me. I always tell them, If somebody says respected sir, it is like an abuse to me. Why? Because we are interacting 100 times in a day. Please don't put respected. Respected should be in your heart. It is not, you don't need to put it in the email. So this is what I personally believe in. And when I talk about learning, I feel I was never a studious person or a student. I was always a curious student. So I always says be curious to learn. So wherever it's like फोकट में मिलती है, free में मिलती है, तो छोड़ो मत उसको. You don't need to pay for learning. If it is paid, please don't. You don't need to. It's not required. Why? We are in the world of Google. We are in the world of YouTube. You don't need to buy books. You don't need to buy anything. Everything is available free of cost. Everything. And you know what? People says I've read 300 books in a year. I've read 200 books in a year. Actually, I have also read. But I will say that if you really want to become successful, just read one book in the lifetime. And read that book for 1,000 times till the time it is implemented in your heart and soul. And you are done. You are done. What we are in the race of targets, we are in the race of this thing. I have read 100 books, I have read 115. We say, wow, wow, wow. See, we don't need that wow at all. So it's like, style versus substance. So I am a stylish man who has, what you call the spike hairs, wearing jacket, black shirt, and but substance is not there. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make so. You need to carry, the substance with you, and that can only happen when you approach your own self. So it's like if you look at the building, facade versus foundation. So facade is amazing. The building looks amazing from outside, but if the foundation is not strong, it will fall down. It will fall down. So only style statement is not going to work, but substance is something which we can only create by approaching our own self. And I always say that give your 1,000% in whatever you do. We try to achieve targets. We try to do a lot of things in short span of time. And our so-called bosses says that we should be a multitasker and all. I think multitasker, a person should not be a multitasker. If we have multitask, we should hire multiple people for the same, right? So that we are achieving in every area. So that we are achieving 1,000% in every area. And people are an investment. It is not an expenditure. If anybody feels that salary is an expenditure, I'm sorry to say, then you are in a danger zone. Salary is an investment. People is always an investment. So we should always take it as an investment. So we make sure that if somebody is taking care of PR, then the person should only take care of PR. He should not take care of, the other things of marketing, sales, this, that, and all. But yes, at the same time, we should say, God, I am available for everything. I am available for everything. That means if I don't have anything, you ask me to mop the floor, I'll do that. Why? My boss has asked me. That means he or she has seen something. We should not feel bad. Why he's asking me to mop the floor? Because I trust you. Right? That is the reason I am asking you. So you should take it as a pride rather than taking it as a the offensive thing that, oh, how can he ask me to do things? And sometimes we feel bad as an employee that my boss is asking me to do this, do that, and other 3 people are sitting. Trust me, you are only the person who is going to grow.
Who can do it.
Who can do it. One thing, your boss feels that you can do it. And you are the only person in the company will grow like anything. So always say, I am available for everything. Never say that I'm not available. And so these are few things which I thought, when you approach yourself, you approach the infinite. And when we talk about infinite, that itself says that no limit. It's like limitless. And nothing comes in life unless and until you are crazy about life. So you have to be crazy. And crazy in the sense, every obstacle should be taken it as, I have shared that 2020, we have lost about 14 crores. And that was when I say the figure, that is either a net profit or a net loss. I don't talk in terms of gross and other things. For me, everything is net in life. So my father has always taught that talk in terms of net, don't tell gross profit is 100 crores and then net profit is only 50 lakhs. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. So whenever obstacle comes or the problem comes, how we dealt with it in 2020 and 2021 by approaching our own self. We 3 brothers, we have fallen in love with learning and number of things. So our competitors. And one more thing I would love to emphasize on, we talk about competitors, right? If you really want to become a great leader, please stop hunting your competitors. Why? We all are unique in our own ways. The first thing
Compete with yourself.
Absolutely. And the first thing, we already have become a leader. That is the reason I'm hunting other leaders, right? So you don't need to, you already have become a leader. So that is one thing. And second, competitors will always give you an old ideas and we try to copy, right? So I think you should have your own uniqueness, and you never know that what works in life. You never know what works in life, and you never know about your customer's mindset. So, so that uniqueness, I think, is something which you should always put. If you look at a GIBS Business School website, I am 1000% sure you will not find it as a normal or usual business school. You will see that n number of unique things, and people take it as a risk taking. Again, I take it as a forecasting, that we can forecast. Today's customers are not fool. They are looking for something new. They are crazy. They are looking for something updated. They don't want that old sweet. So even they want something new in today's world. So this is something which I wanted to share. In the next part of my discussion, I'll be sharing how things will, what all the takeaways you can take by approaching your own self, or how exactly it is going to be benefited for you all. Thank you, madam. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, sir. Yeah. That was awesome. I have a lot of takeaways. So I really liked when you said, that you treat people as humans as humans, irrespective of whatever position they hold. So,
and madam, in fact, I would, I think only Rakesh is there from our organization, so I can share it with you. In fact, we had to take a very, very difficult call a few days back. One of the key person of the organization, who is drawing more than 60 lakhs rupees salary, and one of the best person in the organization was asked to leave just because of the attitude problem. So that is a zero tolerance thing, and I think that person has generated more than 30 to 35 crores of revenue for us in last 1.5 years. So that is something we give attitude the top priority, human the top priority.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yes, madam.
Yes, sir. So when you were talking about auto processing, so I just wanted to know, what if things don't go according to your process? What is your approach towards it?
I
Do you
think
have a plan B?
Yes, life is all about experimentation.
Yeah.
Keep experimenting. Think there should not be something called plan B, because if we have a plan B, we don't work on plan A. So I think plan A is more important than plan B. And we should not have two plans in the mindset. Can I have that? Oh, if it doesn't work out with my wife, I can have the other one. So by default, that relationship is not going to work out in the life. So I have to, what I have to do is I should keep experimenting in the life. And when I say experimenting, life is all about experiments. Or when we want to create an auto processes, it will not be created in a day or a month, or sometimes it may take 1 year or 2 years or 5, depending upon the business or depending upon the person-to-person capability. So I think once we keep experimenting, life may go up. If you do 15 things or 20 things, so I'm sure few things will be in our favor. And the things will be in your favor when you make everything in their favor. So if you are in a business, if you are a leader, if you are a manager, if you are a mid-level manager, I believe that if there are 20 people, you keep trying doing that. If there are 20 people, just make them, as a manager, as a leader, my job should be only one thing: make them to fall in love with me. By default, auto processes will be created. The only task is those 20 people should love me. And I am sure in GIBS, in Pathfinder, people loves me like anything. Even if I ask them to leave, I give them a valid reason. I give them the logical reason. I spend, in fact, rather, I would say, rather than spending, I invest hours and hours with them. And one important and one beautiful thing, exit month is considered as the worst month by the people. And they don't feel like going to the office. But in our organization, exit month is the best month, where we treat them like the Jamai Raja of the organization. And even sometimes leader says he's not working or she's not working. We say absolutely all right. Even if they put their foots on the table, you should not say anything to them. Reason is they carry your brand for the lifetime, and the person, I think we are not going to meet that person in the lifetime. So whatever we have given in maybe last 5 years, 4 years or 10 years, that person should carry always the great brand with himself or herself. So I personally don't believe, maybe I am wrong, please excuse me, whatever the things I'm telling, it is my personal opinion.
Yeah, perfect.
And I don't believe in plan B. I feel you fail, then plan, you fail, then plan. God has given us at least 70 to 80 years of age. So we should keep experimenting.
Okay, thank you so much. And Pankaj, would you like to take over? Thank you so much, Mr. Ritesh. So it was an
Thank you,
awesome
ma'am.
session. And I think there were a lot of takeaways, as I had mentioned already. And it was so simple that we could understand
Thank
every
you.
bit of it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lagu. Thank you for taking up the
Thank
role
you.
of
Thank
panel
you,
discussion.
Pankaj. Yeah.
And Ritesh ji, there are no words. Okay, awesome, amazing. I mean, if the time would have not been the constraint, we would definitely would love to hear you more.
Exactly.
And let me
Absolutely
tell
no.
you, there are a lot of learnings. There are a lot of takeaways for sure. But today I can say one thing: if there is a synonym to limitless or infinity, then that is Ritesh Goyal. Yes,
Thank you so
because
much.
I can sense that when you speak, when you talk about the limitless, when you talk about infinity, and when we are talking about ourselves, yes, rightly told by you, it's all here in the mind.
Absolutely.
And the moment you say the manifestation, that really helps. Somewhere today there's a lot of takeaway and learning. If I cannot get up by 4:45, but at least I'll try and get up by at least by 6:15 for sure. I'll start doing that because that's what we think, but we are unable to do. But the moment you say that, once you start following it, it becomes a habit, right? So
Right.
yes, there is for sure a takeaway. And for me, Ritesh Goyal is another term for limitless, for sure another synonym. So thanks for giving me
Thank you.
wonderful
Thank you
insights.
so much, sir. So I will just close with some 4 to 5 lines,
Yes.
which I always tell the people.
Right.
Two most important thing to become successful in, and you should define your own definition of success. It's not the people, and 1,000 crore, 100 crore does not define that. It's all about, you compare it with your past and you feel that whether you are successful or not.
True.
So one is S to H, human to human, head to head, heart to heart. Please
Right.
don't believe in B2B, B2C, nothing works in life. And the second thing is, we always talk about ROI, return on investment. It is never a return on investment, it is return on intention. So what is
Right.
my intention? Interpretation is something which is very, very important. How do I interpret the things?
True,
So
true.
that is something which I always feel, you should always make it as a part of your life. And if you want to start something, so I always say, start before you are ready to start.
Yes.
Start
Good
before
one.
you are ready to start. So please don't wait for being ready that, okay, 4 years मैं job करूंगा and then I'll start my own business, or then I'll become leader, or then will never come. And the first step is to figure out the first step itself.
Very good. Very
Yes,
good.
that is the first step. So please figure out that first step. I'm sure as a leader you will grow up like anything. And so see you all. And it was a great interaction, and I'm sure the happy faces what I see on the screen makes me happy. Thank you so much. Thank you, Pankaji. Thank you, Alagu madam. And I can see Priyanka. Thanks for nice introduction. Mr. Giri, Mr.
you, sir.
Prabhakaran, and one of the best audience, I would say, Mr. Prabhakaran Ji. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you all.
So thank you so much, Ritesh. So we'll not take much of time. Another 5 to 7 minutes. We would like to you be there. So, Mr. Lagu, if you can just take up a quick quiz. Let us see. You have taken away something. I have taken away something. Let's
Definitely.
see what people have taken away, right?
Okay.
So you can have a quiz on that. And after the quiz, we will have a quick, the summary of the session by Mr. Nelly. And then we can have, if there is any question, because of the time is less for us. So if anybody so we give a chance to the winner only to ask the question to our guest today, right?
Yeah, that
So
is
over
good.
to you, Alagu. So over
Yeah,
to you. You
thank you
can ask
so
the
much.
question.
And Mr. Ritesh, as I said, there were a lot of takeaways, and people will be thinking of 4 Ps and H to H. But my question is different. You mentioned something in the beginning about risk. So what was that? It's for the others. So Mr. Ritesh said something about risk when he began his discussion. Yeah, I think answer is there.
Yes.
Rise in the sky.
Eyes in the sky,
Mr.
Mr.
Paul. It goes to Mr. Paul.
Mr. Paul has said rise to the sky. Okay. Probably I think we can share it with Mr. Paul and Mr. Sukumaran.
Yes. So
Yeah.
we can give them a chance to ask a question, one question each. And I believe Arul, we are going to give away them the book by Mr. Prakash. That is the
Yes.
Mass Leadership book, right? As a winner.
Yes. I will
So,
interact.
Mr. Paul, you can unmute yourself and ask your winning question to our guest, and so Mr. Sukumaran, and then we can move forward.
Sir, thank you. Thanks for your inspiration word. My question is, when you face any challenges in your life, how will you handle it? Your depression, your sad emotion, how will you handle it in a tough situation? It is not easy to achieve this kind of achievement. How will you face the challenges in your life?
Sir, as I spoke about manifestation, I think that the power of manifestation, the power of visualization reduces the pain of challenges is one thing what you should practice it every day. And second important thing, I spoke about interpretation. So for me, interpretation is very, very important part. How do you interpret the situation? So I always interpret the situations in my favor. And I think when you try to interpret the situation in your favor, by default challenges will be reduced. And the third most important topic, if you don't have challenges, you don't have life. So if you see a patient in the hospital who is lying in the operation theater, and there is a TV screen, and you'll be seeing what you call a few lines are there, and it will be going like this. So if it is going like this, that means the patient is alive. So if it is neutral or if it is straight, means the patient is dead. So that means this is required in the life. That means a human is alive. So I feel challenges are the part. Keep experimenting in the life, and the challenges and everything is temporary. Even the success is temporary. So challenges are temporary.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So, Paul Raj, thank you so much. And Sukumaranji, you can ask your question, and then we can move forward.
Yeah. Hello, sir. Thank you for the session. It was amazing. Sir, I'm an employee. I just want to convert myself to an employer. So I just saw your word that first step you told.
The first step is to figure out the first step.
Yeah. Please advise any other things for me, sir.
Sir, the only thing I would advise is the entrepreneurial mindset. So the moment you said I am an employee, frankly speaking, as an entrepreneur, I didn't like it. So we are living in the era of intrapreneur. We are not living in the era of employee. I'm sure that many people they don't like the word intrapreneur or entrepreneurial mindset, because sometimes we feel that our employers are not the same. What we feel about the company, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how I should make an interpretation of my own situation. So I am the owner of my own life, right? So it does not matter at all. The only thing, seventh ko meri salary aa rahi hai ki nahi aa rahi, that is more important. And I think there is a relationship between an employee and an employer. It's transactional, absolutely transactional. So I think we should not be emotionally connected with the employer. We should not be connected with the company, but with our work, we should be emotionally connected. And where I say entrepreneurial mindset, the day when you start feeling about entrepreneurial mindset, I think you are just a step away from being an entrepreneur. And that day by default comes in your life. And I feel that just fall in love with your work, and you will see a magic within a year or maybe two.
Great. So thank you so much, Ritesh, and I hope Mr. Sukumaran, Mr. Ritesh has answered your question. So now, without taking much of time, we are already 7:30. So I would like to invite Mr. Nelly to summarize the session for the day. So, Mr. Nelly, over to you for the summary.
Thank you, sir. Considering the time, dear Mrs. Sir, really wonderful insights, and your autobiographies inspired generations, and you made a lot of thought-provoking points. And on the summary, yes, and overall, the summary key points are understanding ourselves, and self-administration is much more important. And we should have a lifelong learning and be curious to learn. And we should overcome the challenges and taking bold steps. And we have to embrace our possibilities. And the fifth one is we have to set ambitious goals and we have to work for it. And the other one is we should not worry about embracing change, and we have to work on the risk risk rise in the sky. And we have to build a connection, and the connection we have to because people are always important, and we have to utilize properly. And appreciating the progress, as you mentioned that 4P, and we should focus on people, PR, process, and the progress. So appreciating progress is much more important. And the last one, the being present and keep experimenting on all the points. So these are the key elements on the summarize point, considering the time frames.
Thank you, Mr. Nillai. If you can share these points with me, so that next session I will not put a lot of efforts to create this. So please do that after the session. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nellai. Thank you so much. So here I would like to invite Ms. Priyanka for the vote of thanks. So Ms. Priyanka, over to you. You can have the vote of thanks.
Yes, Ms. Priyanka is having some technical issue. I'll do the vote of thanks. Thank you.
Arul, thank you so much for taking the role, Arul.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Ritesh sir. Thank you so much for all these insights today. They're so motivational for us. Thank you so much. So for the first visitors who are attending for the first time, Leaders Connect 360 is an hybrid model leadership community where every Wednesday from 6:30 p.m. to 7:15 p.m. we invite a top management leader from a reputed corporate company to suggest some solution for our real-time challenging situations, like the experience we had today from our guest, Mr. Ritesh. So kindly follow our social media platforms to get updated. So for the next week guest, please follow the social media platforms so you will get updated about the next week episodes. Thank you, Ritishji. Thank you so much for your wonderful insights today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you. See you all. Thank you.
So are we going to have the thank you video, Arul?
Yes, yes, yes. We have a thank you.
Yes.
Yes. Just a minute.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Arul. Thank you so much. So Riteshji, thank you so much for being there, and we hope to see you soon and catch up with you soon. So here for the visitors, we have our networking session